Hello, everyone. Thank you for being patient. It's 7:01, and we are going to go ahead and start. My name is Carrie Campbell, and I am the Assistant Director for Communications at University Housing. I've got several people in the background behind the scenes with me who can answer questions during this webinar, and we will also have time to answer questions after we finish. But if you do need to ask a question as we go along, find that Q&A button. Sometimes it's under more. If you're on a mobile device, you may have to tap to find it. And that's how you'll answer questions as we go through. And again, like they're going to save some questions for the end if they feel like they're getting a lot of those, or it's a good thing for me to answer for the whole group. All right, let's go. Let's see if it lets me advance. Okay. So here's what's on the agenda. Okay, echo. See, I was having audio problems. Let me see here. Audio. Hmm, I don't know. It says, I don't, do any panelists have their audio on? It doesn't look like it. Heather, do you hear an echo?
I do not hear an echo.
Okay. Oh, sorry. That was my bad. We're gonna try that again. Okay, I don't know how to fix that, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Anyway, agenda. Y'all probably read the whole thing while I was just yapping to myself. We're going to talk about first year live-out requirement, talk about the Dawg House, which is the student housing portal. We're going to talk about the process of choosing housing and what the assignments process looks like. We'll talk about roommates. We'll talk about the types of housing that we do have, housing fees, move in. You guys can read. We're going to cover all of these things hopefully in about 30 minutes, and then we'll have time for questions after that. All right, so you probably already know that the University of Georgia has a first year live-on requirement. That is basically because studies have shown across the globe really that students who live on campus, especially their first year, are seeing higher GPAs, higher graduation rates. It helps people, what we call our retention rate. So students who stay from their first to their second year are really all affected by that on-campus experience because of the peer and the professional support that we have immediately upon people setting foot on campus. Now, I just said that. But basically, we do have a curriculum in housing that is, um, basically, if you have a syllabus for a class, there's kind of a syllabus for living in housing, but there's no test at the end. But we really do have some areas of focus that we're working on with students to kind of help them like be successful at UGA and be productive members of society. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Dawg House. Now, if students have already registered for housing or designated a roommate, then they may be familiar with the Dawg House. The Dawg House is what we call our student housing portal, and that's how students manage their assignment. They registered there, they can search for a roommate there. When it's time to choose a room, that's where you'll go to do that. So that's really all the kind of nitty-gritty. That's where all the activity happens when you're actually interacting with housing. Oops, sorry. All right, so when you choose housing, I know a lot of different schools do it differently, but at UGA, students will select their own housing in the order in which they paid that $50 deposit and registered for housing. So it's not a deposit, it's a fee. Um, so you don't pay anything else. It does not commit you to UGA. It's just a way for us to know that you're coming and we'll put you in line to choose your own space. So the earlier you register, the earlier you'll be able to choose, which happens after the May 1st commitment deadline. So keep that in mind. If anyone hasn't registered by now, even if you're not sure about UGA, please go and do it. We consider anything after the beginning of April to be a little bit late. So go ahead and make sure you are registered for housing. Again, it does not commit you to the university. All right. Fall assignment. So I'm assuming most people are here because they were admitted for fall 2026. This is first year students. First step, register for housing. Again, people have been doing that since December. You can continue to do that. And if you haven't done it by a certain point, we're going to email you and text you and call you until you do that. And then really there's nothing to do at this point unless you want to look for a roommate or just kind of do your research. Um, Nothing will happen assignments wise until after May 1st, like I said. So mid to late May is when people will start choosing their spaces. So go to the housing website and kind of look at what the options are. I'll give you a little more information about that later. But really, what you can do now is create a roommate pair. Um, if you know your roommate, or you can search for roommates, and you'll do that in the Dawg House as well. We did just create a video about how to do that step by step, so go to our YouTube channel and you can see that. And then, like I said, mid to late May, that is when people will start choosing their spaces, and you're choosing your exact room and building. So it's not like I mean, you're literally like shopping. You add it to a cart. And so a lot of times people ask us, what are the chances if I registered on January 16th, will I get to be in Blackdale and Miller Hall? And we say, we don't know because everything's based on the independent decisions of 6,500 18-year-olds, honestly. So everything that is available to you and has not been taken will be showing up when you go to search for a space. So it's a totally student-driven process. Our goal is always to have first years all assigned by the 4th of July. We do it in rounds, and we do that because we don't know how many people are pulling in roommates when they are choosing. We don't know some people who have been non-communicative with us, are they picking space? Are they still going to come be with us or not? This also gives us a little wiggle room to do some room changes and consolidation and things like that. So we do it in rounds. So you'll get an email every week. Once we start doing them, it'll either say, here's your appointment time to choose, or it'll say, we haven't gotten to you yet, just be patient. But our goal is July 4th. For students who are in the Morehead Honors College, there is an opportunity to reserve a space in Myers Hall before those appointment times begin. So that will be mid-May, probably. I don't know the date. But basically, check your UJ email, keep checking that email, and look for one that says, hey, on this day, you can log in to the Dawg House and choose a space in Myers Hall. If you do that priority selection, you will only see Myers Hall when you log in on that day. If you do not want Myers Hall, or if you log in and you don't see anything you want, then just wait for your regular appointment time and you can choose at that time. We don't have space for everyone in the Honors College to live in Myers. We have about 250 spaces, which is a little bit less than half of the honors class. So they do fill up, but again, if you don't want one, that's fine. Wait for your appointment time and you can go to choose a space in a different building. All right, now I talked a little bit about roommates, and I will pull in one of our students in a minute after I go over the three kinds of ways you can find a roommate. So the first is to bring a friend. So you know someone, you played on the soccer team with them, or you went to high school with them, or you went to church with them. So if you already know them, coming in, that's who you want to live with, then you just log into the Dawg House, create a roommate pair. Again, I'm not going to go over how to do that right now, but we did just post a video on our YouTube channel that's kind of step by step on how to do that. The second way is to find a friend. So you can search in our portal, the Dog House, you can search there. We have a roommate matching tool that's basically match.com for roommates. It returns matches. So it'll say, oh, Carrie, you're a 80% match with Heather, and you're a 92% match with Suzanne. So it doesn't automatically assign you with those people, but it does kind of act as a tool to let you reach out to those people and kind of decide between yourselves, do you want to be roommates? There are other ways people find a roommate. You know, if there's probably an Instagram or a GroupMe or Facebook page, that's another way you can do as well. But it all ends the same way, and that's with you creating a roommate pair in the Dawg House. There's no other way to guarantee that you're going to be with your roommate. And so the final way is what we call make a friend, which basically is you wait until it's your turn to choose a space and you choose, and either there's already somebody in that room, most of our spaces have two people, or someone comes in after you and chooses the other space in that room. And all you know about that person is they are another first year student with the same gender that is on your UGA application. So that's what we call random roommate. But you can, if they have not prohibited us from sharing it, you can reach out to that person through the Dawg House and get to know them before move-in. Ella, did you want to talk about how you found a roommate and how you know people are doing it?
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. So when I was a freshman, me and my roommate were actually it was someone I knew. It was a friend from home that I roomed with. And I would say that at least when I was a freshman, it was probably like equal about how people I knew had roommates, either random or met someone on Instagram or brought someone they knew. It was pretty, I wouldn't say there was one group that was like more common. Um, but if I had to give a recommendation for students coming in this fall, I would say the best option is to find a friend or find a friend or go on the Instagrams or use the roommate search tool because I know a lot of people use the Instagram. Some of them are really big where people can put their profiles and stuff. Um, Obviously, I've known people who've had great experiences anyway. Like I knew some people who had a random roommate and now they're best friends. But sometimes with the randoms, you can meet someone that maybe your lifestyle is kind of different than, like you're maybe one of you is really clean, the other isn't, or you like to stay up late, they like to wake up early. That kind of thing can happen if you don't know the person at all. But also if you live with someone that you're really close with, like I did, I know there's like a saying, it's like, don't live with your best friend. And I agree with that because sometimes you spend too much time with one person. So I think the best thing to do, or what my recommendation would be to students, is make a new friend in doing it. But it's best, I would say, to like use Instagrams or something so you can connect with someone that you know a little bit, like you know that you have stuff in common with. And it's just a good way, I think, to make a friend because if you have, say, your best friend is also going to UGA, like you're still going to hang out with them even if you aren't roommates. But if you get a new roommate, then that's another new friend. I think it's just a good way to meet people, especially your freshman year. So, yeah, but they're all good options.
Yeah, that's good advice. Those of us who have been in housing for a while will agree not to live with your best friend because like the expectations are just too high. Um, and maybe you've never lived with that person and you don't know and you don't have as much of a filter with your feedback to them when they leave their dirty socks on the floor. Um, but I agree, like this is your chance to kind of make a new friend and see what they do. What are their hobbies? And maybe live next door to your best friend. All right. Thank you, Ella.
You're welcome.
Um, all right, so speaking of roommates, this is basically how our room types break down and how many people are in those spaces. All of these types of spaces are available to first year students, but I will say that 85% of our spaces are double with community bath, which is what you're thinking of a dorm room as. So bathroom, sharing a room with one person, bathrooms down the hall. 85% of our first year spaces are going to be those. So I'm just setting your expectations. Um, we do have others available. Double with bath is I picture it like a hotel room, so two beds in that bedroom in that room with a bathroom attached. And then we have suites, which could be two or more rooms connected by a common area or a bathroom. And then we have apartments, which are just what you're thinking. So there's a living room, there's a kitchen, separate bedrooms. Some of those bedrooms have two people, some have four people, not four. Some have two, some have one. But those are really all the options. Kind of go on the housing website and the YouTube and see what you feel like will fit with you. If you're looking an all first year building, they're going to be those double with community bath. So take that into account. All right. In-person tours, there are none. That's why Grumpy Cat is here. Basically, during the summer, that's really the only chance we have to do some really strong maintenance and renovations. And we always prioritize the people who are currently living with us. So this summer, that will be not only students attending for summer classes, but also camps, soccer camp, swim camp, math camp, cheer camp. And we don't want a bunch of randos wandering around the, 12-year-olds cheer camp. So I'm not going to leave you hanging though. We do have a virtual tour. And this virtual tour, if you haven't already seen it, you can click on the map here at one of the buildings. This is actually put straight in the center of campus. If you can believe that, you can see the baseball field there. And this is the track that is no longer there, and it is becoming the the second practice field, outdoor practice field for football. But you can also click on the side here and drop down those menus. I'm gonna go see if I can stop sharing real quick and show you the virtual tour. All right, sharing again. I don't know if there we go. All right, so I'm pulling up the virtual tour and you can see it spinning around. Here's Athens. Yay! Athens. Good times. That's downtown. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and click on who shall we choose? I'm gonna pick Mel Hall. So we'll go straight to Mel. Whoop. There we go. We can go in this door. You guys know it's just like a Google Street Map, and you can spin around like this. If you have a VR headset, you can take a break from killing zombies or whatever on it and use this. You can also click directly to the spaces. So this is, trying to zoom. There we go. Zoom out. Student bedroom. So all the bedrooms in Mel look like this. You've got built-in storage there, built-in desks, and a sink. That's clutch, y'all. I cannot oversell the sink. But we also show you the bathrooms, which in Mel were renovated 2 summers ago. So you can see there's like full doors there. And here's showers. So you can do that for all the buildings. So just take a look around and see what you feel fits your vibe and your budget. See if I can still go back to my webinar. I hope we're seeing the webinars now. I guess not. I'm going to share again. Stop. Why I have to stop share to change windows? I do not know. Okay. Hold on. I'm having technical difficulties, y'all. There we go. Okay, we saw that. We saw that. Okay. Blah. All right, now that you have seen what we have to offer, I'm going to tell you about fees. So fees are generally, and this is the housing fee, they're per semester, per person, and they're generally based on the privacy option. So of course, if you have your own bedroom and your own bathroom, then that's going to be more than if you're sharing a bathroom because it's down the hall. So just keep that in mind because there can be some really big differences between the fees by semester. Um, we just got the fees approved for the fall, so you can go look at those on the housing website. or you can look at all of them in one place under our rates table. They will not be, you're not going to see those fees as soon as you register or as soon as you choose a space. They will not be put on your student account until mid-July and usually due the first day of class. But you will know how much you will be charged because we have those rates on our website. Okay, let's talk a little bit about move-in. So sorority recruitment participants that are registered with Greek Life will move in on August 9th. There is a fee for every day before the 14th that you're moving in early. So that will automatically go to your student account. Everyone else, except for our move-in volunteers and Red Coat Band, they will move in on August 13th. Everyone else can move in on the 14th, 15th, 16th, or the 17th. So you can spread that out. That is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is when classes start. The timeline's a little tighter than it normally is, but we had to change our academic calendar kind of late. So if you want to move in on the 14th or 15th, Friday or Saturday, you will need an arrival time. We will have hundreds of volunteers there helping out, um, but you will be choosing that arrival time, usually like late June, early July. So don't make any plans until you know that arrival time. If you're trying to book a flight or something, I would probably plan to move in on the 15th or the 16th, just to be safe, in case you do not get an arrival time on the 14th. So the arrival times are by building. So, a big building may have 50 people per hour, where a smaller building may only have 15 people per hour moving in. And that's really just to cut down on elevator lines, check-in lines, traffic, parking. Just so expect that and keep checking your UGA email for more information about that because that will continue to come out throughout the summer. When you check in, you'll see that you do need your UGA ID, which you generally get at orientation, to get into the building. So you'll tap your ID, enter a PIN number, and that gets you access to your building. It doesn't give you access to your boyfriend's building or your best friend's building. It's just yours. And you are on camera when you do that, and you are responsible for anyone you let in. We also have 24-hour desks. We have 9 of those, and they are where you can go round the clock if you've lost your key or your ID or you have a maintenance problem or something. And of course, we have security cameras like on exterior doors and any kind of doors where people would have access to the building and in public areas. So not like in student rooms, not in student hallways, not in bathrooms, obviously. But basically they're there so we can track people throughout the building. We do have a couple of partner vendors I want to tell you about. You're probably going to get some offers like emails and mail, junk mail from a lot of different people, and they may claim to be with the University of Georgia, or they may show up like red and black, have a bulldog on or something. But these are the only 2 vendors we are officially partnered with because we trust that they can do good work and they're reliable. The first is GradGuard. They have renter's insurance and they also have tuition insurance. It's optional. We do recommend that students get some kind of renter's insurance. It doesn't have to be through this company, though. You can do it through a homeowner's policy or research one on your own. But that's just an option we offer. I think the rates are probably I think they're like $12 a month or something. We also have partner vendors that rent mini fridge microwave combination. So there's a mini fridge slash freezer with a little microwave on top. And if you rent that through this company, then they will drop it off before move in and they will take it away after move in, and you don't have to ship it or bring it with you in your car or anything like that. And if it breaks, they'll bring you another one. So that's a really good option as well. You can bring your own, but this is just a way that we found kind of reduces waste because we were seeing people like throw them away or, just donating them at the end of the year, which is fine, but what's better is just reusing something. So that's a good option. Here's a couple of ways that you can interact with us in the future. I think I'll go back to that. Um, we will be having a family reception on the first day of your new student orientation. You haven't heard about your orientation yet. Don't worry, you're not missing it. You will get information for that after the commitment deadline passes May 1st. So don't freak out yet. But we will have a family reception and a furniture showroom in Black Dialer Miller Hall, or as you guys like to call it, BDM. So in Blackdale and Miller, we'll have a bunch of different kinds of our most common furniture. So you can take pictures, open the drawers, measure till your heart's content. So look forward to that. We will also be at the resource fair before orientation begins. I think orientation begins at noon. So you've got all that morning to kind of take placement tests or go to the furniture showroom or, just take a tour of campus. We'll be at the resource fair, so you can see us there. You can get a button. You see Church Hall there, because that's my favorite one, that has your building on it. And if you put that on your little orientation lanyard, then you can find other people who are in your building and go ahead and make a friend. You will see me or Heather again at the orientation presentation on day one, where I'll give like basically this, but a lot more about move in. And then there's a family weekend, November 5th through 8th. And I'll tell you now because it sold out really fast last year. So just keep that on your radar. The registration is not open yet, but it did sell out fast last year. Before I talk about We're Social, I think I missed Campbell. But Campbell, I think I meant to call on you when I was talking about move in. Campbell's another student. So Campbell, if you can talk about like, are there things that you brought but didn't really need, or there's something you did bring and you're like, that was the best idea ever. I'm so glad I brought it.
Yeah, for sure. I would say something that was really helpful for me was I had a lofted bed, so I put a pool noodle on the metal part of my bed because I would go under my bed either to the futon on my roommate's side or my fridge under my bed, and I would hit my head, and it really hurt. And you will do that. So I would get a pool noodle because that just, prevents injury. And then I would say anything that helps store any of your items is just the best. Like, I would steer away from too much decoration because it just clutters the space and you are sharing it with somebody. So I would just say anything that can help keep your room neat and tidy, because that was really important to me too, and less about like you want to make it homey and everything, but not too much decor, I would say is just best for keeping a clean space.
Yeah, awesome. And so Campbell and Ella will also be helping out alternately during orientation this summer too, so that we have a student perspective at our resource table or at our family event as well. Thank you, Campbell. All right, so I bring this up so that you can find out more information after you're gone. Our YouTube is focused on incoming students, so that's people here. Room tours, what's an RA? What do you do on campus? How do you set up a roommate pair? All of that's going to be our YouTube channel. Our Facebook is geared towards parents, families, and supporters. And that's really an effort to get out accurate information as opposed to some of the mom Facebook groups. Y'all, we're in the groups. We see what y'all are asking. Just ask us. We're happy to help. We see you're spiraling sometimes. So just ask us. We are happy to help, either on Facebook or call or chat us on the website. Um, Current residents, so once you move on campus, are going to be following our Instagram. So there's a housing Instagram, and then there is one for every building or community on campus, and that's really going to be specific to your building about your RAs and your hall director and the events that are going on there. And then our TikTok is really just for fun. Its subject is Yay, isn't college hilarious, basically. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with the new student hub. Basically, if you go to housing.uga.edu/new-student-hub, You're going to find this presentation once it's been recorded. You'll find our previous presentation. You'll find links to that roommate video I talked about, the grad guard, renter's insurance, the fridges, all of that is going to be there. It's all in one place in one page. Um, so please check that out. If you want to start somewhere, that's a great place to start. We are recruiting volunteers for move-in as well. So like I said earlier, students can move in on August 13th if they help us out on the 14th and the 15th. It's a really good way to meet new people and make some friends. You're not moving anybody's belongings, like you're not hauling futons up the stairs. It's really just parking, check-in, elevator lines, things like that. And that is all I have. I'm going to go to the Q&A and see if we have anything that are behind the scenes people directed at me. Q&A. There we go. All right. Maggie says, if they don't find a roommate, will the random one assigned align to the profile possibly? Um, so no, because again, it's individual students' choices. So we don't place people in rooms unless they have some kind of accommodation. And even then, they're really picking between the rooms that meet their accommodation. Um, so it will just be random. They will just be another first year student with the same gender that you applied with. We do have a lot of people, 25 to 30% maybe doing random roommates. So don't be afraid about that. And you have the option year round to request a room change as well. So that's always an option. Anonymous, who's a super fan, is at all of my webinars. Hi, Anonymous. Says, who's responsible for cleaning the bathrooms? Great question, because there is a difference. If it's a community bathroom down the hall, then our staff clean it twice a day and they're on call on the weekends. If you have a suite or an apartment bathroom that is in the room with you, then you are responsible for cleaning that as the student. We do come and inspect it once a semester to make sure, not just the bathroom, but the whole room, to make sure that, the fire sprinklers are still working and not obstructed, and that, your lights are still working and you don't have a pest infestation or anything like that. But students are responsible for cleaning their bathrooms if they're in the room. All right, Katha says, do we need to book a vendor to adjust the height of the beds, or are we able to do it ourselves? Another good question. So last year, I don't actually know what the plan is yet this year. That's a good question. Last year, we allowed people to request their beds to be lowered because the default height is going to be all the way up, basically. The default, they're all going to be set to that height. And we have some resources on the new Student Hub about what that looks like. Last year, we had people request either one of three heights. So all the way up, kind of in the middle, regular bed height. I haven't heard that we're going to do that differently this year, but you can do it yourself. You just need like two people and maybe like a rubber mallet. There's no screws or anything involved. You can do it yourself. All right, Christine says, my son and three of his friends are trying to room together. Should they each just choose one person for preferred roommate? How will they be able to make sure they're all together? So I don't think you will be able to make sure that you're all together. We don't have very many spaces that fit three people, and we don't have very many spaces that have four people. I would say the best option is to maybe look at a suite. So O House has suites where there's two people in one room, two people in the other room, and the bathroom between them. That might be a good idea for Oglethorpe House, but your student is going to have to just choose one person to be in a roommate pair with them, because you can only have one person. And we do that because most of our spaces only have two spaces, and a lot of people were putting four people in their roommate group and then leaving three people out in the dust. Anonymous says, how do we let us know if you want to volunteer? There's a move-in page on the housing website. I'll also have Heather, who's in charge of our social media, add it to our link tree on the Instagram. Um, but you basically just sign up and then you're good to go. All right. Angela says, are you allotted a certain amount of time on the day you move in? That's a good clarification, Angela. So you have an hour to park in an unloading zone. So get all your big stuff out, get as much as you can out. Don't start setting up your room, just get everything out. You have an hour. And then you'll move your car to a longer term parking further away from the building, and you have as long as you want to move in. So you can, make a Target run, you can go buy groceries, you can do whatever you want. You have as long as you want to move in after that. Chris Shiv says, so the random roommate wouldn't be in your preferred hall either. So again, students are picking their exact room. It's like when you logged in, you will see, you know, Boggs Hall 402, Brumby Hall 315. Like you'll see the exact room and you pick the exact room. So there's not a preferred hall or anything like that. You're picking your specific room. And then if you have a roommate and a roommate pair, you can pull that person into a room with you. You can also put that person in another space on campus. If you're trying to get more than two people together or you can't find a space that has room for two people, my advice would be to, um, let's say I'm searching for a space in Russell Hall and none of the spaces left have room for two people. They all just have room for one person. So the best thing I can do is put myself in one room in Russell Hall and put my roommate in another room in Russell Hall. And then after I do my contract, we can both request a room change to consolidate before we even move in. We do thousands of room changes over the summer, easier to do when you're already in the same building. So that would be me. That would be my advice. Um, Anonymous says, how can you see the layouts of specific dorm rooms? That's a great question. So once you have your specific room, you can go to the housing website. And what I'm going to actually do here is stop this share and go get it so I can show y'all what it looks like. Um, and come on, thing. There we go. All right, share again. Okay, so this is the homepage of the housing website. We already went to the virtual tour. I'm gonna go to incoming students, explore options. This is where you see every building we have, okay? So every building is here. If you click on one, we'll just do this one. It'll give you a bunch of information, like how many floors it is, what kind of furniture is in there, blah, blah, blah. But over here, you'll see room plan search. So once you have your room, um, you can type one in here. And I'm just going to type, sorry, I got too many windows open. 401. 401. Boggs. And we're going down to Boggs. That's where we are. Boop. And there we go. So it brings it up, and I can see um, all the measurements and even the furniture and everything. So that exists for every room on campus. So that's a good option. If you're not sure what you want yet, floor plans are available on the Dawg House. You do have to log in with your UGA ID to get to a floor plan. Um, but that will show you where your room is in the building or on the hall. So that's a good option as well. Other than that, I would say poke around in the virtual tour. What we show in the virtual tour are going to be the most common types of buildings. I'm not sharing anymore. I don't care. Um, all right. Where I lost my Q&A. Why is everything so hard, y'all? There we go. Okay. Anonymous says, my daughter just paid her enrollment fee. I'm sorry if you already answered this, but how would I apply for housing? So again, go to housing.uga.edu. You will click on the Dawg House. Let me show you where that is. Um, right here. The Dawg House at the top of housing.uga.edu. Your student needs to log in with their MyID and password, and then they're really just completing their housing registration at this point. There's not any choosing that will happen until the middle of May. But yes, do have her do that as soon as possible because we do let people choose in the order in which they register for housing, and people have been registering since December. So this will be on the tail end of that. All right, let me see if we've got any more questions. She's oh Pete. All right. Callie says, when you say pull your roommate in, can you explain that a minute more? Yes. So basically, if you're in a roommate pair, which means in our system here in the Dawg House, you've messaged somebody and says, hey, be in my roommate pair. And they have responded and said, I confirm I'll be in your roommate pair. The video on our YouTube channel about that, which I will go to. Once people have done that, yep, I'm on the right channel. Oh gosh. View your channel. Then whoever has an appointment time can choose for either person. So here's that video. How to set up a roommate pair in the Dawg House. So watch that. Basically, someone requests you to be a roommate pair, you confirm, and then at that point, either one of you can assign the other person to a room on campus. Usually the person with the earlier appointment time will do that, but it doesn't have to be that. Each person does get their own individual contract though, so make sure both roommates are paying attention to that because they each need to execute their own contract in order to secure that space. All right, Grant says if a student registered 2 hours after housing opened in December, will they within the first 500 or so? I don't know, Grant. They do timestamp it by the minute, and the second. Um, but it also matters, are you male or female? So again, is it going to rain in Tokyo on October 14th? I don't know. Like I could guess, but I don't know. All right. Anonymous says, are there any options for freshmen where my roommate and I can have our own bedroom and share a bathroom? Rebecca's answering that one online, but there are. Um, there is University Village East, UV East, which is an apartment. So it has a bedroom with two people in it, and one bathroom and a living room. You were asking if two separate bedrooms. Um, I mean, there probably are some spaces, but I don't know what has already been reserved because that would be generally a upper class kind of space. But if it's available to students, then it'll be in there when you go to choose. All right. Ooh, you guys are answering fast. Anonymous says, for furniture that needs to be assembled, like cube shelves, do you recommend assembling it before move-in or keeping it in the box to assemble in the dorm? Um, we do recommend unboxing things beforehand because when you get there, you'll see the epic amount of styrofoam and cardboard that we recycle. It's amazing. But I would assemble it once you get there just because you have to pack it. You can also wait until you get there to actually order it and have it sent to the building. So as soon as you check in, you can have things sent to that building and then you don't have to worry about um, packing it or fitting it in the car. All right. Okay, y'all are both answering questions. Anonymous says, are we allowed to bring our own microwave and fridge or does it need to be rented? You are allowed to bring your own. Um, It doesn't have to be rented. It does have to fit our specifications, which I think the fridge needs to be Energy Star and the microwave is supposed to be fewer than like 700 watts max. So as long as it fits those specifications, you can bring your own. All right. Th Rebecca's answering this, but the question is, when's the last day to choose your roommate? There is not really a last day for everyone to set up a roommate pair, except you need to have your roommate pair set up before you go in to choose your space. So it needs to be set up, and the other person needs to, like both of you need to have accepted that in our system. You have to have a confirmed roommate pair in order to put someone to a space or let them put you into a space. So um, basically, you have up until the day before you get to choose. All right. It says on the day we select our room, will we only be given the option for floors based on our child's gender? Okay. So basically, yes. Genders are not always by floor. Sometimes they're by wing, sometimes they're by room. It depends on the building. But your student will only see spaces that are available to them. So they'll only see first year spaces that match their gender that is on their UGA application. So they'll only see things that are available to them. So they don't have to worry about like choosing something and getting excited about it. And then they're like, oh no, that's for men. And I'm not supposed to do that. Um, it fluctuates year to year, which floors and wings are men and women based on the incoming class, and which is one of the reasons we wait until after the commitment deadline so that we know how many males versus females we have. Um, but once we have that information, then we can give you a better answer. I would say if you're concerned about it, like call us to check back, because sometimes we do have to flip-flop wings or floors based on the incoming class demographics. All right, what time are we at? Okay. Shannon says on the day we select our room. Oh, wait, I did that one. Okay. Jennifer says, how much time do you have between being notified and the registration date? So I'm assuming she means the housing selection date. Um, and it's several days. Generally, we'll email people like on a Wednesday or a Thursday for appointment times that begin the following week. So just keep checking that email during the summer. I think it'll be like every Wednesday or every Thursday, I forget. We'll send out updates. Um, so just keep an eye on that. You do have several days warning. We will not email you and then say, go choose right now. All right. Patty says, when will the email go out with the appointment times? Again, it will be mid-May. I'm not trying to be sketchy or sus, as the kids say, about the day because we haven't chosen it yet. Um, we have to see how the spaces we reserved line up with the incoming class numbers and demographics. So it will be mid-May. Okay. All right, we're running out of questions, y'all. Well done. Um, I'm gonna give a call out to everyone behind the scenes to say, is there anything that y'all wanted to add? This will be recorded or is being recorded, and we'll put it on our new student hub and on the housing website. You can see right here's the one we did last time. And it does have chapters in it, so don't do that. So if you just want to go to a specific part, then look for the chapters again. Um, so you don't have to watch me ramble on for an hour. All right, we don't have any open questions, y'all. Y'all did a great job. Uh, I'll let our behind the scenes people answer that last question. Um, but please reach out to us. Don't count on those Facebook groups to give you reliable answers because sometimes things change year to year. And sometimes things might be specific to your situation. So please call us or email us or message us on Facebook. Talk to us at orientation. We are really happy to help. We really want everyone to be as happy as they can so they can be as successful as they can at UGA. So I'm a three-time UGA graduate. I really want everyone to have a good experience like I did. And housing, I think, is a great place to start that. So I am going to let Suzanne finish her question. She's typing for her life. But everyone else, I'm gonna let you go. But again, please reach out and we'll see you at orientation.
Carrie, while we're waiting on her to finish that, I know you're trying to wrap up. I might have missed it. Did you give a shout out to the furniture showroom this summer?
Hmm.
Okay,
You were probably
wonderful.
typing.
I was typing.
All right, y'all. Thank you and go dogs.